Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Say the secret word and divide $100. The comedy quiz show You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. This was originally broadcast on April 27th, 1957. And now, George Fenneman will tell you the secret word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word is house. House.
Is this a fact?
You bet your life.
It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America, who invite you to see and drive the most exciting car in the world today, DeSoto for 1957.
Here he is, the one, the only.
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. George, who's first?
Carol Webster and Dan Quigley are standing by to talk to you, Groucho. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Daniel Webster and Dan Quigley, huh? Daniel is your name?
No, not Daniel. Carol.
Oh, Carol. Oh. Would you mind giving us some idea of your age, Carol? Just let your conscience be your guide.
I'm 26, Groucho.
26, and we don't look it. You look like around
Thank
20.
you.
Now, where are you from, Carol?
Well, I was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, and then we moved to Cape Elizabeth, Maine when I was a baby, and when I was 17, we moved to Hartford, Connecticut. And I liked Hartford.
Oh.
I lived at a boys' prep school there.
You lived at a boys' school? How old were you?
I was 17.
Oh,
It
brother.
was very nice. I was just young enough to date the students and just old enough to go out with the teachers.
Oh. Well, why did you... who made this decision, your father?
Yes, he did. Well, he was a friend of the headmaster, so...
Oh, he was a
let
friend
us-
of yours, too,
Yeah,
I think.
sure was.
Well, didn't your father worry about you? How many boys were there?
Oh, about 150. It was a paradise for a young girl.
Oh, I should say. Paradise even for an old girl. You're Dan Quigley?
That's right, Groucho.
Where are you from, Dan?
Wilton, North Dakota, 24 miles north of Bismarck, North Dakota, which is the state capital.
No. Now, what could you tell us about North Dakota that might attract the tourist trade?
Well, for the Chamber of Commerce's standpoint, it gets down to 52 below. I've seen it in the wintertime.
Gets down to 52 below zero?
Right.
Well, that certainly ought to attract the tourist trade.
Well, it's a
Attract
fine...
them all the way down to Miami, Florida.
It's a fine winter sport, and in the fall, it's fine hunting, the best in the United States.
Are you married, Dan?
Yes, I am married.
Oh. Where'd you meet your wife? In a snowstorm?
No, I met her in a restaurant, and I was a customer there.
Well, I'd say you were a customer in every restaurant.
Well, it goes to say that a fat man always proves that he eats well.
You're a pretty big lad, Dan. How much do you weigh? Just tell us in round tons.
Round tons, 320 pounds.
You only weigh 320. Have you thought of becoming a jockey? No, you know, and they do have these elephant races in India.
I was thinking of perching horses, probably.
Oh. Well, enough about your weight. I imagine you must be pretty sick of that subject, aren't you, Dan?
No, I don't think so, Groucho. It's very...
What sort of work do you do?
I'm in the restaurant business.
Well, the fat's in the fire again. What's the name of your Ptomaine Emporium?
A Totaway Burger, 11,500 West Pico.
What's the name of it?
Totaway Burger.
Would you spell it?
Totee-A-way.
What does that mean? Is that French, Totaway?
No, it's not French. It means that if you wish to purchase something, you can come up, order it, and tote it away in a basket.
Oh. I think I ate in one of your places. I had one of those hamburgers, and they toted me away. I went there again after that and just ate the basket and threw the hamburger. Well, Carol, let's get back to you. It's taken me quite some time, but I think it's worth it. And are you married?
Yes, I am.
Well,
Groucho.
let's forget the whole thing. How long have you been in California, Carol?
Oh, just about 6 months.
Why did you come out here?
Well, when I lived back in Connecticut, I used to listen to Art Linkletter's house party every afternoon on the radio.
Wait a minute.
Funny! Thank you.
Give it to him. You say you came out here from Connecticut. Why did you come out, Carol?
Oh, well, as I was saying, I used to listen to Art Linkletter's house party every
Who?
afternoon. Art Linkletter?
Art Linkletter?
Yes.
Never heard of him. Is he the missing Linkletter?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I've heard his show.
But anyhow, I used to listen to his program, and he always told about the wonderful climate in California. So I talked my husband into coming out here because we have terrible weather in Connecticut.
Now, what does your husband do for a living?
Well, he's a commercial service specialist at General Electric in North Hollywood.
Well, that sounds like a very imposing job. What does he do there specifically?
I don't know. Neither does he. He hasn't been at it very long.
Well, have you ever asked him what he does?
Yes, and he just looks kind of vague, and off in the clouds. He's looking for his job description, though. That ought to help him out a little.
He's looking for somebody to describe what he does?
Yes, they have a little piece of paper that describes his job, but he lost it.
Well, he doesn't know where he lost it?
No.
Well, you tell him he better find out in a hurry.
He had.
GE's liable to trade him off to Westinghouse for a couple of waffle irons. Carol, now you've heard Dan and me talking about food a while ago. How about you? Are you a good cook?
I'm a terrible cook.
Oh.
I specialized in, tuna fish casseroles, opening cans, dehydrated roasts, and burnt meatballs.
Now I understand why he doesn't know what kind of a job he has. He's slowly being poisoned. How about other housewifely duties? Can you sew?
No, I'm a terrible sewer, too. Well, I tried it once, though.
What happened?
Well, my husband was lame for a week from the sock that I darned for him, so now I just throw them away.
Why don't you throw your husband away and keep the sock? Actually, he sounds like a wonderful fellow. He must have the patience of Job, the wisdom of Solomon, and the backbone of a jellyfish. Carol, I think he's pretty lucky to have a girl as nice as you.
Thank you.
And with a good sense of humor. It isn't every woman who would tolerate a husband who works for General Electric and who hasn't the faintest idea what he's doing. Well, it's been fun talking to you two, and I'd like to continue, but it's time to play You Bet Your Life, and we want to see you win some money. Now, remember your partner, so we want one answer on everything, huh? Now, we have 20 categories, and from this, you selected plants, animals, and birds. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're through. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Is that clear? Here we go. What is the state flower of Kansas?
Sunflower. Oh, excuse me. The sunflower.
Sunflower is right.
1 right, 3 more to go, and you'll have $1,000.
What is the distinguishing characteristic of a herbivorous animal?
It eats vegetables.
That's true.
You're halfway to $1,000 now.
What flower is the symbol of Mother's Day?
Carnation.
Carnation is right.
3 right, 1 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
What kind of a mosquito carries malaria?
Anopheles.
That's right. We can't.
Yes, sir.
We can't cheat them out of anything.
4 in a row, you now have
They're just too smart,
$1,000.
that's all.
Good.
Anopheles, huh?
Yes.
I thought that was where the Navy was. There it is. Did you know it was Anopheles?
I knew it was, I knew it began with an A.
That'll give you an idea if we do, huh? And you, did you know it?
Yes.
Oh, you did, huh? Well, you're smarter than we are. Well, now you've won $1,000. Now you can keep it and quit, or you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a crack at $10,000. So go over there and sit on his lap, and thanks for being on the show, and think about it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
April 27th, 1957. Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now let's get back to Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. This episode from April 27th, 1957.
Groucho, Miss Stasia Lamont and Mr. Tom West are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you always have around with you. Stasia, where are you from?
I'm from Vilna, Poland. Poland, Vilna. Which one, Groucho?
You're Polish, and your name is Lamont. How do you explain that?
Well, my Polish name is Lewinovna.
Oh.
Now you see why I changed it?
Well, that's a rather poetical name, I think. Levinova, is that it?
Lewinovna.
Oh, well, why did you pick Lamont when there are so many other names available? Marx, for example. That's the name I picked. My name used to be Lamont. Well, in any case, you're a very charming and attractive girl.
Thank you.
And are you married?
No, I'm not.
No, thank you. Have you got a steady boyfriend?
No, I don't have it either.
Well, do you have an unsteady boyfriend?
No. I'm still shopping.
You're still shopping, huh?
Yes.
Well, you won't have any trouble correcting that deficiency, I don't believe. How long have you been in this country?
A few years.
Perhaps you aren't used to American boys. What do you think of them? Do you have any opinions about American boys?
Yes, a lot of them are fresh.
You say they're fresh?
Very fresh.
What do you want? Do you want a stale boy? You wouldn't go to the market and buy a head of cabbage that wasn't fresh, would you?
No, that's not what I mean.
Now, in what way do you say that American boys are fresh, or fresher than the Polish boys?
Well, I went a few times on a date, and they take you in a car, they get fresh to you, they start kissing you. And I get mad, I pull off my shoes and knock all the windows in the car with high heels.
You knock the windows out of the car with your shoes?
With high heel shoes.
Oh, what were you wearing, horseshoes? Well, next time you want to go out riding, go out with me. I have a horse and buggy, and it doesn't have any windows. Actually, I drive a new DeSoto. And if you go out with me, you can be sure every window in the car will be rolled down. And the door's wide open. Now, what did you do after you smashed the windows? Did you just stay there, and wasn't it kind of chilly in this open car, which was now a convertible?
No, the guys get scared to death. They take me back home.
Well, I admire you for what you did, Stacia. You just keep smashing these windows. In this way, you'll not only keep your good name, but you'll also bankrupt every insurance company in America. Now, who are you? Have you been standing here all this time?
Waiting for a bus.
Oh. Don't you feel rather insignificant standing there alongside of... Are you married?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. But I still feel it.
Who are you? Are you the secret white duck? Who are you?
No, my name is Tom West, Groucho.
Tom West, huh? That's what Horace Greeley said, wasn't it? Tom West, young man, Tom West. Didn't he say that?
Something like that.
Yeah. Now, where are you from, Tom?
Well, originally, Groucho, I'm from Chicago.
I guess most everyone is, huh? And?
Well, we came
out
here...
How long ago were you born in Chicago?
26 years, Groucho.
You're 26 years old, huh?
No, I was born 26 years ago.
Well, that makes you around 40, doesn't it? You see, on account of the difference in the time.
Yes, well, I came...
You see, there's 2 hours difference. They go by mountain time. They used to go by central time, but they got weary of it. Now, did you go to school in Chicago or any place else?
It's a rather leading question. Yes, no, I didn't go to school in Chicago. I came out here when I was just a year old, and...
By yourself?
No, I came with my folks. I wanted to be close to my mother.
Oh.
And so we got out here about 31, 32, and so I started school out here when I was 6.
Well, what was your main interest in school? Did you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an Indian chief?
No, Groucho, my interest ran in 3 veins mostly. That was football, track, and women. Or girls, that is.
Well, those are certainly 3 active sports, all right. And, Tom, what sort of work do you do? That's assuming that you work at all.
I go to school, Groucho, at L.A. State College.
You go to school and you're 26 years old?
Yes. It's inevitable.
You must be pretty high in your class by this time, huh? You could be the teacher. What are you studying? Oh, you're older than the teacher?
Most of them, yeah.
What are you studying at college?
Dramatics, Groucho.
Oh, you want to be a ham?
Yes, or an actor.
Well, Stasia, let's find out some more about you. So far, all we know is that you're trying to exterminate the male population of America. What have you been doing since you came to this country, in addition to creating a boom down at the glassworks?
Well, when I first came to New York, I worked in a candy factory.
Oh?
Making candy.
What kind of candy?
Chocolate candy, and all kinds of candy.
Taffy?
No.
Gumdrops?
Waffles.
Waffles is candy?
Waffles covered, chocolate covered waffles.
I've had waffles covered chocolate, but I've never had cross-covered waffles, chocolates. Why did you quit this sticky job?
Because I got too sick, eat too much candy.
Well, you ate these waffles all day?
All the time.
Yeah. What kind of a job did you get after that?
Then I went to
the same factory?
No, there was a meat factory.
A meat factory. They manufactured meat here?
In New York.
Oh. Well, after you got thrown out of the sausage factory, what did you do?
I was not thrown out of there.
You mean you...
I quit, and then I went...
Why did you quit?
It was too hard.
Somebody tried to kiss you in the smokehouse?
Oh, I met a couple of fresh ones there, too.
Have you had any other shattering experiences with American men?
Oh, I have lots of them. Just...
Give us another example of mayhem.
Well, it happened right here in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, you mean? There was a man that was fresh?
On Sunset Boulevard, yes.
This is incredible. Did you report this to Mayor Polson?
I didn't have to.
You mean you took your shoe off again?
No, it just so happened he was driving the car, hang his head out the window and started whistling after me. And the car was in front of him. He didn't see it. And
that wasn't me, huh?
Well, you look like you. I don't say it was you.
Was he driving a DeSoto?
I don't remember because I was just walking on the street and mind my own business.
Well, what happened? He whistled at you?
Well, he hang his head out the window, started whistling and holler, and he smashed into the car in front of him.
Stacy, you know, you have a good chance of wiping out the entire automobile industry. Now, how do you know this fellow who's had his head hanging out the window was fresh? He might have been sick to his stomach. Just because he whistled doesn't mean a thing, you know. Now, does it?
Oh, yes, it does. Only wolf whistle. The wolves.
The wolves? It's not true. A whistle can mean anything. I whistled at a dog this morning. And you know what he did? He climbed into my car and smashed every window I had. Well, you're a charming and attractive couple, and I'd like to go on talking to you two, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. So let's see how you can do in the quiz. You know your partners now, and we want one answer between you on everything, huh? You selected a movie quiz. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Now, here are the stars. You tell me what picture it was. Clark Gable, Ava Gardner, and Grace Kelly.
Magambo.
Oh, no. All right, it's Magambo, but on the next question, you ask her first, see?
You have 1 right, 3 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
All right, now who plays the title role in the movie version of King Richard III?
We believe it's Laurence Olivier.
Yeah, you don't have to go any further. You're absolutely right.
2 right, 2 more right, and you'll have $1,000.
Okay, one of the great movies of all time was The Wizard of Oz. What comedian played the Cowardly Lion?
It was Bert Lahr.
Bert Lahr is correct.
You're almost there. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
Who was the Danish actor who created the role of Dr. Christian? It was Gene Herschel.
Herschel, yes.
Sorry, you're back to 1 wrong again.
Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days has been made into a picture. Who produced it?
Michael Todd.
That's right. Mike Todd is right.
1 right again.
Now, what studio's trademark is a snow-capped mountain with a semicircle of stars over it?
It's Paramount.
Paramount, that's right.
2 right.
How do you say that in Polish? Paramount.
I never heard in Polish Paramount.
No. All right, Hunts Hall, Leo Gorcey, Billy Hallopp, and Bobby Jordan made a series of pictures. What was this group of boys called?
The Dead End Kids.
The Dead End Kids is right.
Cliffhanger, April 27th, 1957. You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of You Bet Your Life. Groucho Marx, April 27th, 1957. Will they get number 4?
You have 3 right now. Get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
All right, who played Who played the feminine lead in Trapeze?
Gina Lola Bridget.
Gina Lola Brigida is right. So you've now...
Yes, on the roll. You now have $1,000.
You won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You might even get a crack at $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
George, we're ready to see who wants to get a crack at all the big money. Will you bring out the first couple?
All right, Carol Webster and Dan Quigley, would you come back out here, please?
I'm glad to see you back again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Now, you've won $1,000. Now, you have a chance to win a lot more. Maybe even $10,000. Or you can stop right here and keep your $1,000. If you decide to try for the big money and fail, you wind up with a grand total of $500 between you. Now, what are you going to do?
We're going to go.
Okay. Pick a number and turn the wheel. If any number besides the one you pick comes up, this question is worth $2,000. If the number you pick comes up, the question is worth $10,000. Now, what number do you want?
7.
Give it a twist. Well, your number was 7 and it came on 10. So this question is worth $2,000. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Socrates is one of the greatest philosophers in history. But his wife was so bad-tempered, her name has become proverbial for a nagging spouse. For $2,000, what was the name of the wife of Socrates? All right, what's the answer you've decided upon?
It's not Portia.
No, it's Xantippe. And it's
Oh,
spelled
gee,
Xantippe. And why it's pronounced Xantippe, I'll never know. I'm sorry you missed it, but you wound up with $500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations for being with us. Sorry you didn't win more.
Thanks a lot.
All right, George, bring out the next couple.
Stacia Lamont and Tom West, would you come out, please?
Why, Stacy, it's a pleasure to see you again. Huh?
What's that?
You won $1,000. Now you have a chance to win a lot more, maybe even 10,000. Or you can stop here and keep your 1,000. If you decide to try for the big money and fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to go ahead, huh?
No, I stop.
You're stopping, huh? Well, so you get $500, and you want to go ahead?
I'm going to go ahead, yes.
You can win $5,000 if you get the big question, or you can win $1,000, or you can win $250. Pick a number, say the number out loud, and turn the wheel.
6, Groucho.
6. Give it a turn. Pretty close. Scared the life out of me. Your number was 6, it came up 7. So this question is worth $1,000 or $250. A certain hotel in Tokyo is world famous because it was successfully designed by Frank Lloyd Wright to withstand earthquakes. For $1,000, what is the name of this famous hotel?
I wish I could help myself.
What do you say?
The Tokyo Hotel, Groucho.
No. That's good guessing, anyway. It's the Imperial. I didn't know it either. So I'm sorry you missed it, so you wind up with $250. Huh? That isn't too bad. Congratulations,
Thank you very
and
much.
thanks for being with us. Huh?
April 27th, 1957, You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
It's a big, bold story set in the heartland of America, along the edge of Lonely Mountain. I am open for business. And so Big William Gorgon, played by handsome Michael James, fiercely set down his Midwest roots.
Oh, darling, we're going to sell bathrobes and raise chickens.
Set his adoring wife, Wilhelmina, portrayed by beautiful Glenda Olsen.
Oh, I love our store, Will.
But they hadn't counted on Big Ralph's bathrobes and cattle store coming to town.
Oh, Will, what will we do, Will?
Will had a plan, a way of facing off against tough Big Ralph. We're going to change the face of America. We're going to advertise.
For what?
With print, broadcasting, and bus benches, we're going to tell people who we are and where we are.
What's a bus?
And so the story of how one man brought advertising to the heartland.
Oh, will it work?
It will. Well, my name ain't Will, Wilhelmina. You got to advertise or we'll die. And so the greatest marketing story of all time is here. Advertise or die, dopey.
Put your message on this national advertising platform. Email classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Well, we've been following the soap opera Claudia for some time now, and let's check in and see what's going on out on the farm with our duo. This is from April 27th, 1948.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia. Boom-doodle-doo-doo. Boom-doodle-doo-doo.
It's getting to be a warm day.
I'm not climbing this hill too fast for you, am I, darling?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Oh, David, look.
What?
There's a mist lying on the road. Just like smoke.
It's there every morning at this hour. Every warm morning.
Really? I never noticed.
Well, we're not usually up and out at this hour. 8:15. Still very early.
Nice to be up early.
Yeah. Let's stop and catch our breaths.
Oh, darling, you're so tactful. Catch my breath, you mean? Oh, say, how much time have I got to catch it in? When are we supposed to meet Matthew Warren?
Oh, in about 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't want to keep him waiting. It'd be terrible to get up this early and still be late.
We'll see him coming across the fields.
His fields are ready for planting, aren't they?
I think some of them are planted already.
Oh?
They're as smooth and rich as good brown velvet.
Don't frown, David. Ours will look like that someday.
Sure they will.
Look over in the far pasture. Mr. Warren's cows. How many has he, I wonder?
A pretty fair herd for this part of Connecticut. Looks about like 18 and 20.
All brown and white. Must be Jerseys?
They're the best for cream.
I know. Maybe some of them will wander into our pasture. Be nice to have something grazing in our pasture. Besides crows.
The Warren's cows won't wander into our pasture after this morning.
Oh, what a shame. Why not?
But, darling, why do you think we're up so early?
I don't know.
Why do you think I'm taking a later train to New York? What do you think we're meeting Matthew Warren for at the edge of our property?
Don't you remember?
Oh, I give up.
Matthew Warren called you and said, "The winter has made the wall break down in many places, and you and he better get together this morning and repair it." David, how long do you think it'll take?
What?
What are we talking about? To mend the wall, of course.
I don't know. Depends on how much damage the winter has done.
Half an hour, maybe?
Half an hour. At least a few hours.
That long?
That's not so long.
Oh, it's hours. Every other morning you can't wait to rush off, catch your train, and start being an architect again. This morning, just because you're going to repair a boundary wall, you don't care how late you're going to New York.
Well, this is different.
How different? If we're friends with Mr. Warren, whether his cows do come through a break in the wall or whether his cows do graze in the lower pasture, what's the difference?
I don't think Mr. Warren would like it.
Why not if we don't mind? It's our property.
But it's his cows.
Oh.
Mr. Warren has pastures of his own for them.
Oh, you're not making any sense.
I'm not, eh?
I think you're being very stuffy.
Not stuffy, just practical.
I say stuffy. And I think stuffiness and walls make life unfriendly and unneighborly.
Darling, why do you think the New Englanders who first settled here bothered to clean their fields of stone and build walls with them?
Well, it's obvious they couldn't farm or plant their land when it was scattered with stones. Why, David, even you know that. Anyway, that was 300 years ago, darling.
Oh, but that's not a long time.
Long enough for me. Longer than we'll ever... Well, I've caught my breath again. We better start walking.
Okay. Now watch where you're going.
It's awfully brambly around here, isn't it?
Someday I'd like to get this side of the hill cleared.
It's a beautiful walk to the top. My ankles come home scratched to the bone.
You have to keep after her every minute, don't you?
After who?
Nature.
Oh, her.
You coming?
Yup. Right behind you.
Just a little ways and we'll be at the top of the hill. I wish you had stayed home.
That sounds as if you were trying to get rid of me. I wonder that my feelings don't get hurt.
Well, you shouldn't be climbing around these hills.
Who says I'm climbing? Besides, we're there.
And we're going to go home by the road. No more of this mountain goat stuff for you.
Just because you're not as young as you were, you want your future son's mother to spend the rest of her life in a rocking chair?
Might.
Oh, such a lovely warm breeze up here. It's nice to put your face into it.
There's Matthew Warren, coming across the lower pasture.
Then we better start down to him.
Now, wait a minute, darling.
What, David?
See the wall between our two properties? Between the elms?
Yes.
And it follows all the way out till it meets the road.
Yes, I see it. But I still don't see what difference it makes if a few stones have fallen down. But I don't care. It's a lovely day to be out meeting a neighbor. If you want to mend a wall, darling, it's fine by me.
You know, I'm starting to think that you don't like the idea of having a wall around our land.
Maybe I don't.
Now, that's a fine attitude coming from a woman who's always cleaning out her closets.
Closets and walls. I don't get the connection.
You will. You are fundamentally a very neat person. So, come on. We'll meet Warren at the bottom of the hill.
Much easier going down, isn't it?
Hey, no running.
Who's running?
Here, give me your hand.
Oh, that's a nice invitation.
Well, it's a nice hand.
Oh, David, I'm glad our land has a hill on it. Makes the place seem so much bigger to have a hill.
How do you figure that?
You can see so far around, way beyond our land. There's no end to things when you have a hill.
There's no end to things anyway, darling.
Yes, there is. When you have walls and things end. Oh, so serious on such a nice day.
Hello, Mr. Warren.
Take your time. Ground's treacherous.
It's a nice, deep voice. I like his face. It matches his voice.
And that's good.
Very. Your face matches your voice. That's one of the reasons I married you.
I'll put that away to understand later. Hope we didn't keep you waiting, Mr. Warren.
Oh, I just got here myself. Was held up this morning. One of my cows has pneumonia.
Cows? Can they have it too?
Indeed they can. You must be Mrs. Norton.
Hello.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Warren.
I've been looking forward to it. My new neighbors.
And you're ours. You weren't joking? Cows can have pneumonia?
Yes, ma'am. Cows can have pneumonia.
Huh.
Cows can have mostly anything people can.
Oh, I hope she'll be all right.
Well, we'll try to pull her through. You going to farm your land, Mr. Norton?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm having quite some trouble getting started.
Take your time about it. This land's going to be here a long time.
David, Mr. Norton has been so anxious to have a farm, we just can't help being a little impatient.
Impatience never hurts, but having no patience is bad.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, I know you'll be anxious to get back to your barn, Mr. Warren, so...
Yes, the vet's coming, so we'd better get on to mending this wall. You've broken up pretty bad from the winter.
It was a record snow this year, wasn't it?
Yes, nature gave us quite a beating. She likes to show she's got the upper hand every now and then.
It's a year-round fight getting a living off the land.
I guess it always will be. But we get along. Now, what say we walk along the wall and patch her up as we go? You pick up your stones and set them back. I'll do the same on my side.
Good enough.
Every year as I do this with Jared Tucker, now with you, I like to think back to the first year it was done.
300 years ago.
This land was in my family then, on my mother's side. Putting up these walls meant quite a deal that first year.
Mm-hmm. The land was ready to yield. The fields could be plowed and planted.
More than that. My great-great-grandfather had won his first fight. He'd pushed nature back beyond his walls, and he found he could keep her there.
Oh, but that was only the beginning.
Yes, only the beginning. There it was before him, cleaned and marked off, farm broken, so to speak. A square of tamed land in a world that didn't take kindly to law and order.
And the walls your grandfather built are still these?
Yes, with these same stones. That one there you're holding in your hand, he could have held it, and his sons held it, and I have. God willing, maybe my sons and yours will hold it someday.
But these walls aren't keeping nature back anymore, Mr. Warren. They're between you and us.
Same thing. You've heard good walls make good neighbors, Mrs. Norton.
We'd be good neighbors without walls, I think.
I think so, too. But a wall will never hurt. Because it's good to know that what's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine. And we'll never step on each other's toes.
You think that without a wall,
Oh, yes, I do. But every year something comes. Snows and storms and trees that are spreading their roots. They all come and tear down our walls. Break 'em up so as you and I might get to quarreling about our boundaries and suspicious of each other. Greedy for a piece of the other's land, maybe.
Keeping good neighbors takes a lot of care, doesn't it, David?
Yes. Yes, it does. A lot of sweat and a lot of care. Darling, why don't you stand under the shade of that tree? We'll be here quite a while.
Maybe I will. Sun's getting warm.
Here's my coat, Mrs. Norton. Just throw it down and make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Some of these stones roll clear over to here. Got a mind of their own, it'd seem.
There's a great American poet who wrote about what Mr. Warren and I are doing today.
What'd he say, David?
It was Robert Frost. And the line that haunts my memory runs, "Something there is that does not like a wall."
I remember it. And that something isn't good, is it? It's disorder, confusion. In men, it can be envy, avarice.
And sometimes the lack of privilege and the withholding of every man's right to possess something of his own that he can protect and nurture, that makes some men not like walls.
I'd rather build a wall so I could cross it in friendship than not have a wall and know I needed it.
I think we live beside a friend and that we'll cross this one often.
David, if I sit quietly under this tree while you and Matthew Warren mend the wall, can we walk home up by the hill instead of by the road?
Darling, you want to climb to the top of the hill again?
Yes. From the crest, we'll see a straight, tall wall joining our land with Mr. Warren.
All right, darling.
Oh, David, such a beautiful, warm day. I love you so much.
When you're lunching at a fountain or counter, you enjoy a Coke with your sandwich or salad. Why not make lunchtime refreshment time at home? All you have to do is to include a bottle of ice-cold Coca-Cola, and a mere snack becomes a festive meal. Keep plenty of Coke on ice. Buy it by the carton or the case, now that there's enough to go round again.
Have you known the Nortons long, Mr. King?
Oh, quite a few months now, Mr. Warren.
Quite a nice young couple. I welcome them as my neighbors. Mrs. Warren is looking forward to meeting them, too.
Well, I hope it'll be soon.
I'll tell Mrs. Warren to get one of our chickens ready and bring up some of our best preserves. Then we'll have the Nortons cross the fence and come to dinner.
Sounds like a mighty fine invitation. But it'll sound even better after tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
It's going to be a mighty hungry evening for Claudia and David. A beautiful chicken in the oven, and nothing for dinner but beans.
How come?
That's what we'll find out tomorrow.
See you then, Mr. King.
Goodbye, Mr. Warren. And as I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
From April 27, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be here each and every time we roll around on your favorite station. And if you would also, please, if you miss a day on this station, you do not have to miss a single show. You can find our programs on demand online at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, or Facebook. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And, of course, as always, you can find your shows on my webpage, classicradio.stream. You can also contact me directly there. You can also find our social media links, classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.